Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Off the Cuff. I'm your host Nick, and this is our co-host Grayson.
How's it going?
And today we're going to be talking about a couple watches, and just talking about I think also where we see the market going. Just kind of as a podcast suggests, just a kind of off the cuff conversation about some watches.
Absolutely. What do you got wearing today?
So today we got the Panerai 212. This is really nice. This is the discontinued, Panerai Regatta. So this is really cool because it's the flyback as well, and it's kind of got like a deco, appearance to it.
Sure.
And for us, we'll have something for you, on the screen. But this I really like just because it's really classic. A lot of people, I think, Panerai, as much as I love them, in recent years they've gotten a little bit too much, craziness with the face. Got a lot of different, movement, a lot of different, features and complications on the face. And this is, in my opinion, pretty simple. It's all black. It's got the inlays and things like that, but it's incredibly light on the wrists, and I just think if you're gonna get a flyback, I would look into the 200 series. So you got the 212, the 213, and we've also had the 213 in the past. And yeah, I think just as a daily piece, for people who want a little bit going on but not too much.
Yeah, I think it's a great piece, and Panerai's not really known for their complications. I don't think when you think Panerai, you think of a flyback chronograph or you think of power reserve. But this watch really executes it really nicely, I think. It's a way to still have that classic Luminor look, but also, adding some complication and having a little bit more complex piece. It's one of those, no, but look closer at it watches. It's got a lot more going on than you think.
Absolutely. What about you, Grayson? What do you got on today?
I'm rocking a nice 44 millimeter Breitling Chronomat in blue. And I think this goes to our conversation, I don't know if it was last podcast or two back, but the blue face is in right now, and it's hot. It's been that way for the last couple of years. It's going to be like that for the next upcoming years, assuredly. Blue's in, and it's a popular color, and I think this watch just executes it beautifully. Another complicated face on a watch. Of course, on the bracelet, a little bit more flashy than the Panerai, but this is a statement kind of piece that still wears pretty well for the above average wrist at 44 millimeters, not one of their 47 millimeter behemoth watches.
Yeah, as much as, I like, for me, I love to feel as though I'm wearing a watch. I don't know about you guys. I know right now titanium is in, and all these really lightweight metals, especially, if you guys are familiar with the Bulgari brand, they've been really experimenting with Octafamismo, and I've worn that piece before, and you really don't feel like you're wearing much on your wrist. I think it's a beautiful artistic piece. For me, it's not for me. I want to feel like I'm wearing a piece. I want to feel like I have a watch. I want to keep, for the lack of, better saying, my pimp hands strong. And, I think that, just wearing a nice big piece that doesn't feel like a dinner plate too. I mean, you could tell us, how you're feeling wearing it, but, some of these bigger pieces, especially like the Bentleys, which, Breitling is also very well known for, they get a little bit too big at 47, 48, 49. I've seen Bentleys as big as, 52 millimeters before, and they're big. I mean, they just are, in my opinion, an eyesore. There's some people, they love them, but for us personally, I like anywhere between that 44 and 46 range. Is right, for me, the sweet spot.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Well, we have 3 watches here today that we want to showcase to you all. Where do you want to start, Nick?
So where are we starting? I think we're going to start with this simple and classic. It's got the Black Bay 58. So this is really nice. It's 39 millimeters, and it's got the classic leather strap and suede strap. And I just think, personally, that it's a great daily watch. I mean, Tudor, they recently came out with some stuff, and we'll be showcasing them for you in a couple of weeks. They recently came out with the bracelet, black base. You got the silver one and the bronze one, which will be incoming to Taylor timepieces. But something like this is classic. It's never going to go out of style. The movement has been updated. If you see the 41s are real cool, but something like this, I think it's an everyday watch. You see people, as far as we're talking about, wrist sizes and sizings, 36, 35 even, but I think at 39, it appeals to someone who, is kind of that 36, 37, 38, and they like to wear the smaller, more vintage pieces. But also, if people that like the 42s and 44s are feeling out of their comfort zone, I don't think this is a big leap. So if you got a bigger wrist and you want to try to enjoy some smaller pieces, I think 39 is you got the 39 millimeter Speedmasters, and this Black Bay, just what I think is a cornerstone of the Tudor. And if you're gonna start a Tudor collection, I think this should be the cornerstone of your collection. Have it in all different colors, black, bronze, blue. Personally, as Grayson said, we do love the blue, but there's plenty of options, and that's what we love about this brand. And Grayson, I would love to get your opinion as well on what you're thinking. And
yeah, sure. I think Tudor knew exactly what they're doing with this piece, right? Their traditional Black Bay line at 41 is a thick watch. I love my Tudor GMT. It's 41 millimeters. It's pretty thick. I'm a bigger guy and have a bigger wrist, so I can pull it off. But not everyone can, and Tudor knew, blue is in. Let's go for a slim trim watch.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's the perfect everyday watch. It is capable of doing anything from being at work to being at the beach. You can put it on some sort of NATO or rubber strap, and you can take it in the ocean. On the bracelet, it's perfect for just about any context. And I actually really like the simplicity of the no date. No frills. A lot of times, the date can mess up the symmetry of a watch. So when you have something like the Tudor Black Bay, or even the Rolex that we showed last week with no date, it just gives the perfect symmetry to that dial, and I think it's just a gorgeous, high value proposition piece.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, as much as we love this Panerai here, think about the complications. Too many complications. Sometimes I'll be looking at a watch, and you're kind of getting lost on the dial, trying to figure out what the time is. I feel like with something like this Black Bay, right away you're looking at the watch, you're looking at the time. If you're in a rush, you're busy business people, busy guys that got a really big schedule, or just hey, you don't have the time to really look at a watch and admire the watch. I think something like this is great because you're not really hurting your eyes, and there's no real eye strain for quick shit. What time is it? All right, okay, done.
Yep.
And I find that the more complications that are present on a watch, sometimes the harder it is to kind of get down to brass tacks and to what a watch is for, to tell the time. Some people get too crazy with that. They want crazy GMTs and date counters, things like that, moon faces, and every once in a while you want something simple and classic.
Yep, absolutely.
I think Tudor executes that pretty well in this piece.
Yeah, and I think the next watch we have here from Omega, not blue, but another watch that's pretty simple and another dive piece is this Planet Ocean that we got here in black with a black rubber strap. I think another piece that's just classic.
Yeah.
This watch is going to be something that you can wear for the rest of your life. It'll always look appropriate and in style. It's highly capable. I think on a rubber strap, this comes across as more sporty than the Black Bay 58. This is certainly a tool watch. But, in the early Daniel Craig movies, this is the watch that he wore.
Yeah, they did nickname it the Bond watch, and it comes in a 42 and a 45. This is the 45 millimeter variant. and these are getting hard to find. I mean, the 2500, movement Omegas are kind of becoming a collector's piece, and you kind of see why. If you look at the piece itself, it's really, very much no frills. It's got that one little touch of orange, in the dial and in the in the hands, which Omega is known for. But other than that, it's a pretty standard piece. It does come on bracelet as well. It's just currently not on bracelet at the moment. But yeah, I mean, if you can look at the side view of this thing, it's incredibly slim.
Yep.
And to have a 45 millimeter watch that's this slim and can fit so easily, you're probably under dress cost if you want to go a little bit more dressy with your watches. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty much got everything you would want in everyday watch, and everything you would want if you're just getting started in this hobby, and you're looking for an Omega and you say, shit, what do I want? What do I need? You have all these crazy Speedmaster reduced, and they do have their place, but I feel like something like this, it's just beautiful. I mean, just
classic and versatile.
It's classic, it's versatile, and there's a reason why it was so well acclaimed in all the other Bond movies, and it's the reason why it's got that famous appeal to it.
Absolutely. All right, next up, I know we were speaking about simple watches, and this is probably the opposite of that, but it might be my personal favorite of this bunch. We have this beautiful open heart Zenith El Primero with a moon face on a blue rubber strap. I mean, this is just a killer statement piece. It's got the large date up at 1:30, 2 o'clock. This is not something that you will see anyone else have on their wrist. This is a unique piece, and something about just the open heart with the El Primero, you seeing that escapement, that watch beating, the seconds turning, it really brings those romantic visions of what a mechanical watch is. This is something that it feels alive, right? It's not something that's battery powered. It's powered by you, and you can actually see the open heart of the movement going, and I think this is a killer piece.
Yeah, the one thing I do love about Zenith is there's so many pieces, and none of them are exactly the same. You see, Omega, it's got the black dial, and then it's got the black dial with a little bit of orange, and it's got, the orange dial with a little bit of black, and with Zenith, I mean, just everything is so different. And as we talked earlier in this podcast about utility watches and watches that kind of serve their purpose and you're done with them, this watch is a watch for the collector. It's a watch that you want to take a look at, you want to sit down and really admire for a bit, you want to show off to your friends. As much as I do love these Omegas, this Tudor, you show it once or twice, and it's cool. It looks like a cool watch. You're not really explaining the history and all the movements of this watch. If you were to see this Omega on a wrist, it wouldn't really catch an eye the way that something like the Zenith would. And I'm sure that's by design. They want something simplistic, but the Zenith, I mean, you could get lost in this thing, and that's what I think is so cool. And I mean, you got the blue tire track strap, which is very reminiscent of these Paddocks that are coming
looks like
out,
an Aquanaut strap
that are really just very robust. And obviously there are many other straps that can go in this piece. I think blue really helps to stand out. Some people say black. I like the blue. I've always liked the blue. And yeah, I mean, Zenith is really coming to their own. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's one of the few brands that have really broken out of their shell.
A lot of innovative stuff.
Omega's always been around. Rolex has always been around. Tudor's been around for a while. I think Zenith, maybe Hublot is the only other brand that kind of started out as this cool hip fashion watch.
I'll let you hold that opinion.
And it's kind of taken its own, taken a mind of its own and being taken a little bit more seriously. So I think you know, as far as Zenith goes, it's a brand that nobody probably took seriously maybe 5-10 years ago, and now they're kind of picking up steam.
And it was always deserved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first manufacturer of an in-house automatic chronograph, right? The Daytona used the Zenith El Primero movement in it for a period of time, which speaks to the quality and craftsmanship. You know, this is a brand that just hasn't gotten the praise that it's deserved. The El Primero is a classic watch. To your point, this is a statement piece type of watch, and in more of their modern line in the Defy movement, I mean, those watches look incredible. They look like they're $20,000 watches, and they're coming in at half or even less. So a ton of value is packed in those pieces, and I think as an overall brand, I think it's a great place to look. And I think if I see a Zenith on someone's wrist, I know that they're a true watch connoisseur. You don't just come in as a layman and buy a Zenith. So, you know, when I see someone wearing an El Primero, I know that they're a watch guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, as always, you know, we love bringing these podcasts to you. We, you know, love just discussing them, and through, you know, teaching you guys about some of these pieces, we learn more about, you know, the pieces, because we got to research them and, you know, make sure that everything's great. And, you know, the one question we would ask you is, what do you want to see on this podcast? What do you want, you know, to see us talk about? You want to see us talk about the market? You want to see us talk about maybe our upstart, you know, as guys who, you know, really relatively new within the business. You know, we know there's some other great podcasts, you know, on YouTube and on other platforms, and we're glad to be one of them. And we would just love to know, you know, why watch us? You know, why do you personally, you know, love seeing me and Grayson come on here on a weekly basis and discuss these pieces with you? And, you know, how can we improve? And, you know, how can we make this, you know, off the cuff as great as it can be?
Subscribe, comment. We would love all of your feedback and to hear what you guys want to see on this channel. Of course, all of these watches that you've seen here today are available for purchase, so check us out. I'll put some information in the description here, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, great.